good morning, well, good afternoon now, actually, because it's 12:30, to anyone that supports a team that doesn't lose back-to-back home games by 3-goal margins, to anyone that doesn't support a team that loses 4-1 at home to an Eredivisie side after spending 400 million. Good morning to you all, and we are here to talk about all the latest Manchester United news, including some stuff going down with Dorgu and Amorim's love of Casemiro and Bruno together in the midfield. Look, Amorim is not going to be happy when he sees what Dorgu has been liking on social media. We're going to talk about that. I think the dressing room is speaking. I think for the most part, the dressing room is on the manager's side, but I do think there's players in the dressing room, questioning Amorim's tactics. Us as a fan base were questioning his tactics. The players are going to. Should the players be liking posts and publicly questioning the manager's tactics? Absolutely not. Unacceptable from the players. You need to mature. But we're going to talk about what's going on in the dressing room. There's a couple other stories going about in regards to United, looking at Jeremy Jackett. Obviously, Casemiro close to suspension. Amorim wants a new wing-back. Manchester United could go for Atalanta Edison in January. There's actually a few stories going about today as well, a little bit of transfer, this and that. So in today's live show, we'll aim to cover all the news, sort of talk about the insides and outsides of Manchester United. But I have to say, guys, if you want to watch goals, if you want to watch good football, go and watch Liverpool's games this season. They've conceded 10 goals in the last 3 games. I have to admit, I'm really enjoying watching Liverpool play. Man United were boring me to death versus Everton. If you just need to feel a bit better, go and watch Liverpool play. They are just fantastic to watch play at the moment. I think Arne Slot needs a 10-year deal. I think what they're doing is amazing. And there's so many goals to see at Anfield right now. And yeah, it's just brilliant watching Liverpool play. So, if you want to feel better, I'd recommend that. Because the Champions League was pretty wild yesterday. I mean, I tell you what, we haven't had really any opportunities to laugh at Liverpool in a while. None at all. But look, we are above Liverpool in the league and we're crap. They've lost 9 out of 12. We don't get many opportunities to laugh at Liverpool. So be shameless and laugh at Liverpool. Be shameless and laugh at Liverpool. That's what I'm going to say. Because look, they could finish above us at the end of the season and be laughing at us. So put the laughs in while you can. I think Tottenham losing 5-3 away at PSG wasn't that bad. I think when you look at the Tottenham performance, they did it to themselves. They probably could have got a 3-3 draw. Whereas Liverpool was actually atrocious and could have been bad more. So yeah, the Champions League was interesting. I was up till about 1 a.m. because I had to catch up on the Tottenham game. Tottenham PSG was a good game, to be fair, but Tottenham in that second half, oh my. So that's why the live stream is a little bit delayed, because your girl didn't go to bed till 3:30 in the morning last night, making content. But yeah, big up to everybody in the chat. We're going to get into the news. Gail says, I'm fed up of Amorim. I'm not going to lie. I am fed up of Amorim, and I've been fed up of Amorim a while. I'm fed up of his stubbornness, but I want him to succeed. I hate this cycle of continuously sacking managers. It's annoying. I think the players are still an issue, but I am fed up of Ruben Amorim and his tactics, and I don't know. I question his tactics. And talking of fed up of Ruben Amorim, it looks like Patrick Dorgu might be. So there's been a few screenshots of this, so we know it's obviously not faked. But basically, Patrick Dorgu's been liking some posts about Amorim on Instagram. Any coach can see that Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes as a viable pivot isn't serious. And it's been liked by Dorgu. Now, first of all, could Dorgu have accidentally liked this? Yes. But do you really accidentally like stuff like this? Not really. Do you know what I mean? He could have accidentally liked it. But should Dorgu be liking this? Absolutely not. Is it immature from Dorgu to like this? Absolutely. It's immature. He shouldn't be liking this stuff, whether you're Amorim in or Amorim out. The players should not be liking stuff like this, which is negative about the coach and negative about the coach's tactics. And Ruben Amorim will be furious. He'll be furious to see that one of his signings as well, is liking posts questioning his tactics. Now, don't get me wrong. We're all thinking the same thing. And I do think about it and I go, Dorgu goes to Denmark absolutely has 4 fantastic games out of 4 in his last 4 games for Denmark, is balling out a left back for Denmark. Dorgu was putting in this phenomenal performance for Denmark at left back. He comes back to Man United, is thrown in at left wing back. Amorim asked him to do this, this, and this, and he stinks it up. I actually think that Dorgu's a good player. I actually strongly believe that Dorgu is a good player. I know we're not seeing it this season, but he's got the fundamentals to be a good player. And he goes to Denmark and look what he produces. So, of course, maybe Dorgu isn't happy with Amorim because he's thinking, first of all, I've been benched for Dalot, who's worse than me. Second of all, I'm doing all this for Denmark. I come back to United and I'm not doing well because of the system. He's probably thinking that. Now, we're questioning Amorim, the use of the wing-backs, the use of the midfield, the use of always having 3 centre-backs and the favouritism and the weird I can't change my system even though we're 1-0 behind for 80 minutes against Everton to have 10 men. Do you know what I mean? Well, we weren't 1-0 behind for 80 minutes, but we're playing a 10-man Everton at home for 80 minutes and I can't change. The players are questioning Amorim's system. The dressing room is speaking. The players and the dressing room, most of them are behind Amorim. I think most of the vibe is good, but the dressing room is thinking, this manager has lost 1-0 at home to a 10-man Everton and didn't have a plan B. This manager is using his wingbacks wrong. This manager is still doing this Casemiro-Bruno midfield, which isn't really working. Bruno needs to be higher up. This manager won't change. So, look, obviously Mendes is better than Dorgu. Someone put Mendes, we should have Mendes and not Dorgu. I think Mendes would be better. But, look, I think you make a point here. Dorgu does not have the right to act smug against Amorim. He's been bad himself. He has been bad. He has been very poor himself, Dorgu. So I agree. What Dorgu's done is not right. And I'm not condoning what Dorgu's done. He shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have liked that. But that's what we're all thinking. And the players, will think that, and they'll have the right to think that. But to actually take action on it, like post and say it, is a different thing. As a player, you can think something, but you can act professional. And Dorgu might think something, but he's not acting professional in that sense. It's crazy to lose to a 10-man Everton. Oh, Amorim is a one-trick pony. And then the next comment says, it's not his tactics that are the problem, it's the players who are not good enough and down tall when stuff goes wrong. Amorim isn't the problem, the players are. Wake up. I think they're both the problem. I think Amorim is very tactically poor. I think Amorim's shown so many games this season he cannot adapt to game state or the opposition. I think Amorim is tactically getting a lot wrong, and I think the system is not getting the best out of the players. But when you look at the intensity in the Brighton game and in the Sunderland game, we haven't been playing the players haven't been playing at that intensity the last couple of games, and some of it is down to the players not showing the right intensity. So I agree with half of what you're saying, but I think Amorim's tactics are wrong, but I think the players are downing tools. It's not a case of we sack Amorim, bring in another manager, go to a 4-3-3 and we're good. No, the players are going to have to step up big time. They've got to stop downing tools. They've got to step up big time. Yeah. United have no squad depth. We need to buy more players. We have squad depth in certain areas, but not other areas. We have no squad depth in midfield. Joel Gomez, Anderson, we need for midfield. Elliot Anderson has to be the priority signing, guys. I don't know if you saw how good Declan Rice was yesterday versus Bayern Munich, but Elliot Anderson is the next Declan Rice, and we've got to make him ours. A lot of people are saying Amorim's system isn't the problem. It isn't the only problem. Amorim's system is a problem. It is. But it isn't the only problem. If you gave Amorim 2 world-class midfielders and 2 world-class wing-backs, I'm sure we'd be a very different side. So, yeah. We're currently above Liverpool, so at least we're not worse than them. True. Patience is virtue. United fans should be patient. There's sort of a mixed thing in the fan base. Some fans think we need to be patient, see out another bad season and wait for Amorim to get his midfielders and wing-backs in. And other fans are like, get rid of him now. I do think if Arne Slot goes before Amorim and Arne Slot won the league, that does say a lot. Look, my mindset is this. I want Amorim to succeed. I'm fed up of sacking managers. You know what I mean? And I think with wing-backs and with midfielders, Amorim's system could work. But I've not seen enough from Amorim as a manager to say I can deal with another crap season because I think he's going to fix it next year. I've not seen enough from Amorim tactically to think, let's have another crap season, go and give him another 300 million to spend on wing-backs and midfielders because this time next year will be good. I've not seen enough from him to think we're going to be good this time next year with more signings coming in. I think that he needs those new signings to make us better, but I think that he's not do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not seeing enough from Amorim to be really convinced that he will make it work. I think he needs players to make it work, but I just don't know, even with those players, if he'll make it work. Can you see him being another manager, being fired in autumn, 2 years after his appointment and after a second summer window? I think Ruben Amorim will probably get to the end of the season, depending on where we finish. But let's say Ruben Amorim does get next year. Why have my hair's just gone there? Let's say we do give Ruben Amorim next season. He has a good summer window. My hair is like a mess now because it's mirrored. I'm trying to put. I don't know. I've messed my hair up. Oh well. I can't put my hair back where I want to put it back. There we go. It's because it's mirrored, so I'm doing it the wrong way there. Sorry. I think Ruben Amorim will probably be given to the end of the season unless things get really bad. Because if we'd have won against Everton, we'd be fifth and there'd be no pressure on him. I think Ruben Amorim will probably get to the end of the season. But what I will say is if this time next year we go spend 200 million on midfield as a wing back and we're playing just as crap this time next year as we are now, then he'll be gone for sure. Alice, what are you talking about? We beat Liverpool at home after 11 years, 9 years. Yes, but anyone could beat Liverpool at home. You know, people are like, we shouldn't sack Ruben Amorim, like he's the first manager in 9 years to beat Liverpool at home. Forest have just beaten Liverpool 3-0 at home. PSV have just beaten Liverpool 4-1 at home. That's not an achievement. Ruben Amorim's biggest achievement is probably beating Brighton because we don't beat them very often. Yeah, beating Brighton. That's his biggest win and biggest win this season. Because I'm sorry, all of a sudden beating Liverpool at home felt like an achievement. It ain't an achievement. We only beat them 2-1. Forest beat them 3-0. PSV beat them 4-1. And we only beat them 2-1 with Cody Gakpo hitting the bar about 1,000,000 times. And to be honest, in that second half, Liverpool were all over us. So yes, we beat Liverpool at Anfield, but look, in the second half, they were all over us. And everyone else is battering them at Anfield. So do you know what? The more and more I see teams go and thrash Liverpool at Anfield, the more I'm like, Ruben Amorim could have done even better. Do you know what I mean? Like, look, but we got the win, and that's the most important thing, and it was a great first half. But you can't say keep Ruben Amorim because he's the first manager in 9 years to beat Liverpool at Anfield when that's what everyone's doing. I mean, beating Liverpool at Anfield right now is like going to I mean, it's literally like playing a Sunday League team. Amorim out now, it's not going to get better. Keane with Carrick coaching. I wouldn't bring Keane in. Michael Carrick, I think, is a shout as an interim. Ruud van Nistelrooy obviously shouts an interim. McKenna's always a shout. I can't lie. I do think that this team would cook with Kieran McKenna. I think we've got the players for Kieran McKenna. I think if we got Semenyo, because we need definitely another winger, and you brought Rashford back, but I think you need an athletic left winger. Cunha would be a striker in McKenna ball. I do think we could cook. We've been crap for a year now. Amorim should be sacked already because Slot will be sacked before Amorim, even though Slot got the Prem under his belt. I mean, guys, let me know in the chat down below. Would you sack Amorim? Would you keep him? The mindset is, look, if we'd have beat Everton, we'd be fifth, and we'd be quite positive about Amorim. But I think it was the performance. And I think it is. We drew to Forest and we drew to Tottenham, but the performance was bad. We've had 3 wins in a row, which was great. But were those 3 wins in a row just a little bit of a fluky blip? You know, was those 3 wins in a row Amorim showing what he's going to do this season, and are we going to miraculously improve this season, or was it a fluky blip and we're going to go back to the same shite we've seen all season and all the last year? Yeah, because we go back to the same site we've seen all of the last year. We don't want to see that again for another year. I don't really give a damn how we play as long as we win. Back Amorim in January. I mean, first, I think Amorim will get the January window. I think they'll bring someone in for him. And I think they'll give Amorim until the end of the season. Vert's a bigger flop than Sesko. Well, Sesko's got more goals in less games and less minutes. I don't want the Brighton coach, no. It doesn't matter if we sack Amorim because we don't get that choice. I mean, I just think if we sack Amorim, there's not a manager I think comes in and makes us loads better. I think there's managers that could get us playing better, but I don't think it's a case of sack Amorim, bringing a new manager, and we're all of a sudden good. I think a lot more needs to happen, and I think a lot of it is the players. Amorim isn't the biggest issue. Yes, he needs to learn to adapt. Take the Everton game, prime example. Can't play back five against 10 men. I agree. The biggest issue is the Glazers and the idiocy at the club. But Amorim's tactics are an issue. Amorim's lack of adaptability are an issue. But also, Amorim doesn't have the players he needs. And the sum of the players he has is not good enough. I bet Dorgu is saying what all the other players are saying on the WhatsApp. They all think he's a total dud with limited tactical skills. I mean, we don't know that, but we have opinions about Amorim. We have opinions about his tactics. The players are going to have opinions. There's going to be players at Man United thinking, "Oh, that tactics crap. Why is he playing this player? Why does he keep doing this?" There's going to be players questioning it for sure. Calling Sesko a flop is wild. He will become good. That's from an Arsenal fan. I agree. I think anyone calling Sesko a flop this early on is crazy. I agree with you there. Le Mans might be dodgy. I don't know. People giving Le Mans stick for the last two games, but I don't really think he's done much wrong. I don't think he could have saved that personally. But people giving him stick. Dorgu is terrible. International games are loads easy in the Prem until you get into the final rounds of the World Cup. I mean, look, Dorgu's been very good in international duty. Dorgu was very good on pre-season. Dorgu hasn't been great in the Prem. But Dorgu's 20. I think Dorgu could be good at United. Apparently, there's a meeting going on with Liverpool and Arne Slot right now. So if that is true, maybe Arne Slot gets sacked. Maybe. Apparently, there's been a meeting. I don't know. Arne Slot is undoubtedly under pressure but retains the backing of Liverpool. Slot's going to speak to the media at 3. Players and staff have day off. So Arne Slot hasn't been sacked. It doesn't look like it's been sacked. Man City are set to discover the outcome of their legal battle before Christmas. They'll probably get away with it, won't they? Yeah. So I don't think Slot's being sacked. Just staying up to date with that news. Should we talk about the other transfer news going about? Because we've spoken about the Dorgu situation, but let's talk about the other news and stories going about in regards to United. Manchester United are keeping close tabs on Jeremy Jacka as part of their push to strengthen elite young talents. I think him and Mukio of Ajax are probably what United want in terms of a good young profile. I think, look, he's obviously plays with Lenny Yoro under 21s. He plays for Rennes. He's a great young centre back, left-footed. Look, I think he'd be a good addition. I've not watched loads of him, but technically looks good, physically looks good. You know, probably the IQ he has looks very good. Him and Lenny Yoro could be the future. He defends well. He's very good at high line defending. He's very mobile. When I look at Jacket and Lenny Yoro, I look at two players that are very physically good, fast, quick, technically good, could form a long-term pairing. I look at Mascara at Arsenal and how Arsenal got Mascara for 15 million as that Saliba backup. I think Jacket is probably the next thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, Arsenal got Mascara, we need to get Jacket. That's how I see it. I think for me, if we had a window where we got Jacket, Elliot Anderson, João Gomez, and Semenyo, I'd be very happy with that. I'd be very happy. It'd be interesting to see Crystal Palace tonight. The good thing about playing Palace on Sunday is it's 12 o'clock kickoff, which I don't like, but Palace get less rest after their Thursday game. Palace will get less rest after the Thursday game. I think we're going to lose to Palace, but Palace haven't been dealing great with midweek games. The Grimsby game, he should have been sacked. I mean, I actually was hammering out after the Grimsby game, but I think that was more the emotion, like, of we've lost to Grimsby. And then I was like, nah, it's being reactionary. But it is a sackable offence, but it was, and I get why people think that. Dorgu's good at left back, not left wing back. I agree, he's better in a back four. He's better in a back four. Like, I'm not confident we beat Palace, but I think Palace playing tonight is giving us an advantage. We might get a result because they're playing tonight and they're tired. That's what I think. Said that when we faced Tottenham, we ended up drawing. I mean, Tottenham draw wasn't great. The Forest draw wasn't great. The Everton loss was awful. We need not just a win versus Palace, but we need a good performance with some good football to feel a bit convincing. Dorg, I agree with this. Dorgu was the last one to speak. If I was playing shite and still being picked, I'd keep my head down and be quiet. I think, to be honest, look, Dorgu shouldn't have said what he said, or liked what he liked. It's not right of him to do that, and especially when he's not been great. But I think it is showing what maybe the players are thinking in the dressing room. No, we struggle against the low block, and that's a massive issue. We don't stack midfield from behind or in front. I agree. I think Crystal Palace low block is going to cause us issues. Whenever we're expected to dominate possession, it causes issues. Every team knows that, so every team is letting us have possession because they're like they can't do anything with the ball, and that's the problem. Talking of Dorgu, he's actually one yellow card away from suspension, and so is Casemiro. Obviously, if Casemiro gets a suspension, we're in trouble because this team without Casemiro is 10 times worse. So, Casemiro, please do not be picking up any yellows in the next few games. If Slot gets sacked, Sir Jim needs to be called out, says Andre. I have to say, if Slot gets sacked after winning the league and Ruben Amorim continues to do poorly and doesn't get sacked, you will have to question the standards. You will have to question the standards, of course. Any news on Cunha's injury? No news on Cunha's injury, but it's not expected to be serious and he's expected to be back for the weekend. We haven't got any updates on his injury, but he is expected to be back for the weekend. Agati should start against Palace knowing this, but it won't happen. But I think even if... I think the suspension... I think Casemiro's got to play his next 5 games without getting a yellow. I think when you get to Christmas, it resets. There's a day that it resets the 5 yellows. So... I can't remember. It's a day in December that the 5 yellows reset. So we'll see. But even if Agati plays, Casemiro could get a yellow in the next game and be suspended. But yeah, I want to talk about wing-backs. I want to talk about Dorgu because he is better in the back 4. We do obviously need a wing-back, and I think United are aware of this. There's a feeling that Ruben Amorim needs more depth at wing-back, and inquiries have been made about the potential availability of several targets. United need a wing-back. I mean, Harry Amas could come back next season from his loan and is doing well. United need a wing-back. And when I say wing-back, maybe more of a winger-back. Maybe more of a winger that can play wing-back, because I think that we look better with Ahmad at wing-back. And that's not because I think Ahmad is better at wing-back. I just think it means that we have one more attacking player on the pitch. We need a winger to come in at wing-back, basically. We've got Harry Amas, we've got Diego Leon as the future, but we need a winger to come in at wing-back. We need... So another centre-back for depth like Jeremy Jackett. We need 2 midfielders. One of which needs to be Elliot Anderson. And we need a wing-back. And look, Man United know that. Amorim knows that. They know that we need a wing-back. Hopefully we get one. I don't know if we'll get one in January. But it's very obvious we need one. The question is, if you sack Amorim, though, and you bring in these wing-backs, and we go back to a manager that plays the back 4, then we've got Mazraoui and Dorgu, who are very good in the back 4. And Deleu's all right in the back 4. So... I mean, that's the only situation you can look at is saying, are Ineos not bringing in specialised wing-backs because they might sack Amorim? Like, are Ineos looking to bring in back 4 players who can play... I feel like rather than bringing in wing-backs, Ineos want to bring in someone that can play wing-back and in the back 4, or wing-back and winger. They don't want to bring in a wing-back. And is that because they might sack Amorim? I don't know. I want to talk about Elliot Anderson quickly. So this is my tweet. And it just made me think really about Elliot Anderson. So I said, I hate to say it, but Arsenal might be the best team in the world right now, blah, blah, blah. But Declan Rice was just the machine. And Adam replied, their squad depth is nuts, blah, blah, blah. And I said, their recruitment has been brilliant. Declan Rice is a monster, makes me feel like we have to go all out for Elliot Anderson. I generally think seeing Declan Rice makes me feel like we can't miss out on potentially the next Declan Rice. I think the difference he makes to Arsenal's crazy. Obviously, Arsenal's squad depth is nuts. But I look at Arsenal's recruitment where they've gone for depth. They've got their £100 million player in Declan Rice that's a monster in midfield. And then they've gone for depth and they've gone to do this and they've gone to do that. And I think Manchester United have to go out and do that. Manchester United have to go out and bring in good depth, bring in good quality all over, bring in, someone like Jackett as a Mascara type centre-back, bring in someone like Elliot Anderson as a Rice. We need to build like them. So I think that, I think Declan Rice is monstrous. And I just look at someone like Elliot Anderson and I think we have to go all out for him. Back 4 will suit our squad choice. Apparently Jason Wilcox behind the scenes is pushing Amorim to move to a back 4 and that Ineos see the long-term future of Man United as a back 4 and are reluctant to sign wing-backs. Like, that is a rumour going on behind the scenes. They're reluctant to sign wing-backs because they're pushing Amorim to slowly move towards a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. Amas has been good at Sheffield Wednesday and Collier is playing well on loan. Well, Collier's not got loads of minutes, but Amas is doing particularly well. Vitek is probably having the best loan out of all our players. Vitek has been monstrous. He could give Le Mans some serious competition for Tech. Amas has been good, yeah. Not Dan Gore, I was about to say James Gore. Dan Gore's done well. Ethan Williams and Wheatley are doing all right. Yeah, I think the biggest success is for Tech, but I think Harry Amas is doing great. Dan Gore is doing great on loan. Toby Collier has had a few injury issues and not had loads of minutes, but he is improving as well. Coyote at Brentford, I like him. I do like him. I can't lie. I remember when we played Brentford last season, he cooked us. That game, that 4-3 loss, was actually quite a good game in terms of like if I wasn't a Man United supporter and I was watching it as a neutral, it was actually quite a good game of football. It's just that we weren't great. But Garnacho scored a banging goal, but Coyote, he cooked us in that game when we played Brentford. Absolutely cooked us, didn't he? So yeah. 21 likes away from 100 likes, guys. So please do go and hit that like button if you have not already. And of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new and want to stay up to date on all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates, and more. We go live pretty much every day on the channel, just literally just chatting about all the United news. My live streams are more opinion based, so I get through the news in like half an hour, but we sort of chat a bit. I go into the comments, we chat about Amorim and issues and stuff. So I do one live stream a day, which is more like opinion based, and I try and get you guys involved. And then in the evening, I do a 10-minute roundup. So if you don't want to watch a half an hour live stream where not all of it is the news, sometimes we're chatting, I also do a video in the evening, which is a 10-minute roundup of all the news. So yeah, on the channel, we've got a mixture of 10-minute roundup news videos where I get to all the news and the point, and then we do interactive live shows like today, talking about, Dorgu liking this post, and look, it's the dressing room speaking, eh? Anyway, I want to big up everyone for watching today's show, everyone who tuned in. Thank you so much. Go and raid Never a Foul. I'm going to redirect you over to Never a Foul. Go and give Cass a raid. Thank you for watching. Bye.